Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, no need to fear. Friendly neighborhood light skin is here. And in today's video, we are reacting to Faze is officially in the coffin. You know what I'm saying? You hate to see it. Well, really, we don't hate to see it. Actually, I personally don't care. But you know, us unemployed, we gotta be entertained. You know what I'm saying? So let's go ahead and get that boy Omeezy to go ahead and entertain, along with your boy.
Thank you. They all get paid $0. We take $0 out of all their pockets too. We don't touch any of their revenues. The bigger brain play with these kids is to take their vision, what they want to do, help them elevate, put structure around them, and inject them with funding to create shows, create products, whatever the this fool wants to do. If he wants to open up a pizza restaurant tomorrow in Hollywood, we're gonna help him do that type. And then when we're structuring that, putting that together, injecting money in that.
Yeah, and then we're gonna get some money out of that. You gotta include that part in the statement. You're like, yeah, and then we're gonna get our chicken out of this situation too. Don't forget that part.
That's when we can sit down and have just an open, transparent conversation about, okay, what's that business look like? What do we stand to gain? What do you stand to gain? Etc.
You see that little townhouse that Max was in? They tried to make that pay 20 bands a month. What the
On that note, Omar, phase the up. Throw it up one time.
Throw it up one time. Come on.
I don't even know what that is.
Come on. Yes, you did. I know a lot of people thought, oh, we're trying to make this a joke or whatever. That's never been the thing. There's a lot of stuff that's happening. We have decided as a group.
Oh, hold on. My fault, chat. Alright, we good.
That obviously it was in our best intention to leave Faze Clan.
Oh boy, looks like we need to phase the down, huh? Don't we?
He's already dead.
Listen, man, if Faze wasn't already cooked, then today is the official day. All of the remaining members since the last video have announced that they have officially left Faze. Even people who weren't all the way into the modern collective. I'm talking about the Faze swag, the Faze rugs of the world. These people have also disconnected from Faze.
I left Faze. I know it's a big deal. I know, I hate to leave Faze, but I gotta do what's best for my career. That's why I went ahead and I started this YouTube channel. You feel what I'm saying? But yeah, chat, in case y'all didn't know, goddamn, I left Faze too.
And they just recently made an announcement that the only thing that they are doing going forward is their esports division, which means for the most part they are moving on to a new phase. Now us Nostradamus has been songwriting.
I hear you. I see you.
I'm here to officially unpack all the details and give you my theory as to why this situation went down the way that it went down. But before we get into the video, please make sure you hit that subscribe button. It's getting colder out there and us unemployed have got to stick together. Think of it as a gift from you to me and the community as a whole. Now, back into the video.
This is like an announcement, or this is something that we planned. This was not planned, and this was just some things that we came to terms, and yeah, we are leaving Faze Clan.
Now, I stated in a previous video, but I'll restate it again. This has been a terrible year for Faze. No, not the streamers individually. They're doing great. They're doing fine. They have
I was gonna say they get guap. They hitting that man's L. I know they pockets is fat, never flat. Period.
which may be a little bit disputed later on in the video. But ultimately, the group got hit with allegation after allegation, issue after issue in the mainstream media, and now a complete dismantling of the group. After Blackboy Max and his cousin came out and opened the floodgates as to why they left Faze, what happened behind closed doors, to a little extent, it seemed as though that opened the Pandora's box for Banks to crash out on the timeline and for everybody else to then leave Faze. Now, for anybody wondering, the guys are sticking together. That's what that response video was about 2 days ago.
Yeah, I mean, everything that Ron said is true. The main thing I wanted to let y'all know is, cause seeing everyone leave online, like one by one, obviously it looks crazy, and you guys don't know a lot of what is happening behind the scenes. But what I can say, what I will add to that, is that nothing is going to change from the viewer's perspective, from the chat's perspective, with our dynamic. Like, we are all still rocking with each other. We're all staying together. Me, Ron, Lacey, Jason, Silky, Kason, Ray. Like, we're all still.
And me. Don't forget me. You know. Oh, don't leave me out now.
Doing our thing collectively and working on our own thing moving forward, and still going to be a part of each other's content. It's not like everyone's going in over here and doing their solo thing, over here and doing their solo thing. We're all still doing what exactly we were doing before, just not underneath those 4 letters anymore.
And that's great to hear. I'm glad that a true and genuine bond has blossomed out of those moments on and off camera over the past couple years. Adapt does say one thing that is very interesting, though, in his monologue about their leaving Faze. He tips his hat to an old saying that Michael Jordan had back in his Bulls days about talent making Faze, not necessarily the organization.
Because, like I said, and I feel like I said this multiple times throughout different speeches and on my stream, is what made Faze always Faze was the people who were inside of it, and that was us. We were the people.
Yeah, because I don't know who the fuck the editor for Faze is, bro. If I walk past them on the street, I wouldn't know who the executive producer of Faze is. No, we don't give a fuck about none of those people. We care about, well, some of us care. I'm not gonna say all of us care, but some of us, we only care about Jason, Lacey, Ron, Silky, and Adapt. Yeah, they are the group. This is who we're watching, you know?
People who were inside of Faze, and that's what Faze was. It was us, and we are leaving, and we're going to still be able to do what we want to do regardless. That was my number one thing. As long as we can all leave and collectively still be in each other's lives, in each other's content, be a part of
Living together,
all that, then we're good, and the viewers will be good, the chat will be good, and nothing's going to change. It's just that simple fact.
I think that that's a slight jab to the shady business practices from the senior leadership, the management companies that do own Faze, aka Hardscope, Faze Banks, and Matt Kalish's company, as told by Blackboy Max's cousin, of course. This comes after the news that co-founder and president of DraftKings, Matt Kalish, who owns 75% of Faze, reportedly got into
Damn! 75? And then once 20%? God damn, boy. Oh, yeah, you know, Ron, Lacey, all their pockets was fat. You got a DraftKings co-founder? Yeah, they pockets. They was getting money! They was getting guap! My bad, y'all. For yelling in your ear like that, I apologize. We good, bro? I bet.
Contract talks about getting 20% of creator earnings. Real genuine vibes going on there. Yeah. And we'll get back to that in a minute because I think that stuff is important. But first, I do want to look into the creators because this is a big deal. In their own separate streams, some of the creators started talking about how great the Faze clan was for what it was, the time being, the relationships that they built and gained. And some of them even started crying because breaking up is hard to do.
Shit's just sad, bro. Because this shit really did mean something to me, bro. But at some point, I wasn't going to be the last person on a sinking ship, you know? And all of these guys came in and revived.
Y'all saw the thing about, they said somebody named Faze Mike. I don't know, they said he's on 362. That boy's on the Titanic drowning. Like, he got no way out. That's gotta be tough.
revived it and revived my passion for content creation and wanting to do that. So I'm rocking with them, you know what I mean? And it was a hard decision to come to, but that's what it is. Like, those are my brothers, and I love making content with them. I love being on stream with them. I love the fact that we could just kick it, you know what I mean?
And while some of the creators from the Faze clan were reminiscing about the good times and how much this stuff is meant to them, kind of circling the block on the whole experience as a whole, other creators, your rage, also a part of the Faze clan, who we haven't heard from a minute, spoke out and kind of did their own kicking while the horse was dead moment.
They said it's gonna be in floor. Oh my God, if y'all knew the shit I signed for, bro, and the shit I did not get and still stayed in that shit, y'all niggas will call me retarded, nigga.
Oh my God.
All y'all niggas will call me, what the fuck is wrong with you, nigga? But you gotta understand, being around them boys, Lacey, Jason, Max, Silky, Ron, Kason, Adapt, I don't give a fuck about none of that shit. I don't give a fuck, bro. I ain't gonna lie, there was a point I was gonna leave. I'm gonna keep it a bean. I was gonna leave like a year ago. Like a year and a half ago, I felt like I was gonna leave. No cap. They all knew it too. They all knew it too. They knew I was tight, nigga. They knew the only reason why this shit all started because I was promised Florida and I was promised other things. And we're not gonna speak on, because if we spoke on it, GG. You do what I'm saying? But I told him for the team, I said, fuck it.
Rage goes on to talk about a similar epiphany that Plaqueboy Max had, and it's one that a lot of artists or content creators have in this industry when it comes to dealing with, you know, corporate entities and higher ups. He himself started to get suspicious and see the writing on the wall, which is probably a part of the reason why he was about to leave.
Multi-million-dollar house for the free ski. We got secure, all this shit lined up. I'm like, yo, that sounds too good. So I'm supposed to drop my whole life, my whole world, and go to LA and just believe niggas just got me out there?
Yeah.
No, bro. No, bro. And imagine if I would've. I would've been out there in LA homeless with fucking 10 dollars looking for a place to fucking sleep.
Well,
imagine I did that shit, nigga.
but even after all of that, you know, getting the guys to stay through the suspicious holes that were starting to pop up, it seems like Faze Clan couldn't sustain any of that. And now we're sitting here today where the whole organization is doing a sweep. This person is disassociated, that person is disassociated. The only thing that is stuck around is the esports side. Now, it is good to see, as somebody who is an outsider looking in, that these guys are finding solace within each other. But ultimately, it points to one thing and one thing only: the management group.
Faze did a sweet. All the Faze is done besides the esports, bro. Apex, Swag. I love Swag, bro. I love Rug. I love everybody. And it's literally the members were perfect, bro. Damn near. I know that some niggas dropped because of some controversial shit, but like, I never had a problem with the members, bro. It's always the higher up shit.
Always.
And I thought my whole trailer of my fucking video was about killing the fucking suits, my nigga, just to find out there's more suits.
We are seeing an unprecedented exit from this collective. Remember, Banks left at the beginning of the year, and we'll get to him in a second, but it's not just this new era, it's also some of the older members. People who were, for the most part, kind of separated, but still carried the Faze name. Faze Apex left, and Faze Rug left, which, hey, I ain't gonna lie, Faze Rug leaving was bigger than anything that I had saw so far. Like, that's when I knew, oh, it's really something going on. And another member, Faze Swag, who we talked about in a previous video, also left the collective. But there kept being a common theme in a lot of these people's sentiments as they walked out the door. It wasn't the people, it wasn't the time, it wasn't that they were burnt out, it wasn't that, you know, there weren't enough women, it wasn't that, you know, X, Y, and Z LMNOP. It's the fact that the people who are on the upper end of the spectrum, you know, management, the higher ups, as Rage would say, the suits, kept fucking it up.
I mean, bro, it's just cooked, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? It just got to the point where people just kept coming into Faze, fucking taking control of it, who didn't know anything about fucking gaming, bro.
Well,
and just ruined the whole shit, man.
And now we're sitting here looking at just the esports collective and Kason, who is still attached to esports. Shout out to Faze Kason, and saying to ourselves, where did it all go wrong? How can this happen multiple times? Is there somebody we can point the finger at? Earlier in the video, I talked about how Matt Kalish, co-founder and president of DraftKings, who owns 75% of Faze, came in and talked about how he can recoup some of his money. Now, from Matt's Bloomberg article, I get it. I came in, I invested.
It's actually one thing, yeah, that I thought of. It with him owning 75%, and I'm assuming he like kind of similar to rappers. I'm guessing, where he's like fronting these people a lot of bread, and for them to just leave, like they don't like have to pay any of that back. Like that's just like their bread. Well, actually, my fault. I was reading. The current financial structure of Faze is unstable, according to Matt. He gave the influencers who operated from a multi-million-dollar Los Angeles mansion the option to go independent or sign deals with Hardscope. He ended talks with the best weeks and plans to continue on without him. My best guess is they're all good kids and have a lot of people in their ears and are confused. He said, interview. Faze had subsided a lot of their expenses. The influencers felt the terms offered were unfavorable, according to a person with knowledge of discussions who did not ask to be identified. The talks have gone on for about half a year. Yeah, I'm not reading the rest of that. Man, so how is he gonna like get the money back for this? I'm
all
curious.
this money into the content side, and you know, I'm trying to recoup those funds. But just like fellow content creator and also a part of a bigger content group who Faze did go after not too long ago, Agent 00 said, once you introduce those suits into the conversation, they just want more and more and more until they ultimately suck the product dry.
Where Faze fucked up was by introducing business people to their organization, and it's not their fault because they couldn't have known, right? Everybody else can look at that and be like, oh, that went bad, let's not make the same mistake. When A&P started, the thought of selling A&P for $100 million, making a fuck ton of money, sounds amazing. But after you see enough people get burned, you don't want to let anybody in. You only get that experience, you only learn those lessons by either making a mistake yourself or by seeing other people make the mistake. And because they're the pioneers, and Optic went through something similar, Optic and Faze, it's enough caution to never allow somebody in unless you trust them with your life, because they have the power to ruin everything. Business is ruthless. Dead ass, man.
In the live stream that I did this past Friday to cover all of the nonsense and shenanigans that's been going on, I kind of detailed how these content creator production houses, these companies that sign all these creators, that create these platforms for all these guys, how they can take advantage of these young creators, sign them into 360 deals, and ultimately make these creators reliant on them while reaping a bunch of the benefits. I think this industry is one of the most interesting industries because ultimately you can just set up shop and do your own thing and you'll make enough money to sustain yourself. Some people will get rich, some people will
Yeah, I was like, you don't even really need to have to sell, bro. Like, cause at a certain point, bro, like the money, yeah, is cool and all, but I mean, like, how many Hellcats can you buy? How many chains can you buy? How many watches can you buy before you're just like, I'm not even really, you know what I'm saying, feeling this anymore, you know? Yeah, how many each you could do, you know what I'm saying? It's like, yeah, like you said, 100 million, we get 100 million right now, but like if I'm making 1 million, 2 million a month, I'm like, I'm only a couple months away from 100 million. It's like, you know what I'm saying? At certain points, bro, it don't even become about the money anymore. It's like more so about like the experience, etc., etc. So yeah, like yeah.
pay bills, but ultimately you kind of don't need those people, but they can make it seem like you need them, and that's where they went wrong. They signed to that type of company, and that type of company was pushed onto them by none other than Faze Banks. Now Banks himself got into a lot of drama over this weekend. I mean, he kind of got crucified himself, right? He was going back and forth with Blackboy Max, but somehow, some way, somewhere, when all the other streamers pointed their eyes and their attention at the guy who brought in this company, at the guy who brought in the creators as well, they also started to unpack his alleged relationships with some of these younger creators. His relationship with TikToker Charlie D'Amelio came into question, and I'm not gonna lie, it looks kind of nasty.
Being a 34-year-old and then going for a 20-year-old is crazy work. Like, it was like, hey, I just want you to know I was 14 years older when I met her and she was 20. I was 34 and she was 20, and I was like, yeah. But to be fair for Faze Banks, I don't think he's matured past middle school. I think he still has like middle school, high school brain. So I think the only people that he can get along with are 20-year-olds, 19-year-olds, and 21-year-olds, because I think he has not matured. I think that there are some people that go for really young people in a way to abuse them. I feel like with Faze Banks, it's literally like he's not an adult, still somehow mentally 16.
It's called Arrested Development. Now let's make it clear, the Faze members themselves have not directly said that Faze Banks has something to do with these things directly. That's probably because they can't, though. I made a tweet this weekend and I got some very interesting likes about
What did he say? I'm gonna let you all know that everything has been said was true, and that's the only reason they can't talk about it. If it was a lie, they would have come out and said those were lies. Gotta get in the booth.
not explicitly denying the fact that he had some involvement. He was doing X, Y, and Z, element OP. He made these big claims about giving these guys free housing, free filmers and staff, all Faze channels, and zero income share. But apparently something financially hit the wall, and it was spearheaded by him. He even acknowledged in his sit-down video about how he could have probably interpreted the financial situation better. But ultimately, I'm starting to recognize some pattern recognition when it comes to Faze Banks. Faze Rain, one of the older members of Faze, called out Faze Banks and how he was deceptive in his tactics when it came to, you know, conversing with the new members of the collective.
This is where I think Banks fucked up. He had Matt Kalish put up the money, and he was liable for that money. He was liable for that money. He had Matt Kalish put up the money for a separate entity under Faze 10 called Faze Media. And he wanted to bring all these new boys in and just like revamp Faze, relaunch it, right? And the problem is this. Selling people this dream and making them feel like they're not gonna have to like pay. Like it was never like day one, like, hey, by the way, like the Faze company needs to recoup money. That's the only way Matt is gonna get his money back. Like kind of just keeping it out of the way. It's kind of like if I had y'all stay in my crib, I said, yeah, you can stay for like 6 months, do whatever the fuck you want, have fun, go crazy. And then later I'd be like, oh, by the way, you gotta pay your rent, bro. You gotta pay your fucking rent. You think that's how
So it's like at that point, it's not even the issue of paying the money. It's more so like, hey, I came here under the pretense that you were just gonna let me stay here for free. Which, again, if you think about that, thinking about it from that side, it's like you can see both people's perspectives here. It's like, one, you really think we're gonna give you XYZ all this for free, and there's nothing gonna be returned. I forgot who. Somebody said. So there's a saying. Somebody says nobody ever does anything just for nothing. Everything is done for a particular reason, whatever, right? And so, yeah, I forgot. But yeah, everything's done for a reason. So it's like on one side, it's like, okay, well, you think we just did all this just for nothing? Like we have to benefit in this situation too, you know? Versus the other people are like, hey, well, you made it seem like it was gonna be A B C D E F G, you know? So A B C D, you didn't mention E F G H I J K. Had we have known about HIJK, we might have been like, oh no, we're good. We don't want to sign that type of deal, you know? So again, it's a more so a battle of it's an argument of not being transparent with what was going on. If there was more transparency, maybe this doesn't spiral as bad as it does, you know, because then everybody's under the same page and everybody's like, okay, cool, this is what we're on, etc., etc.
Here for free. So that's like where it kind of got, you know.
Now, Rain was there from day one and had his own gripes about the leader that is Faze Banks, specifically on the financial side. And speaking of the finances, let's also not forget that Faze Banks has been accused of rug pulling through a crypto scam via an Aiden Ross stream. So between the underhanded deals when it came to contracts, the rug pulls when it comes to crypto, and then the alleged involvement with underage girls that he did go on to say like, yo, I'm filing charges against you, etc., etc. It almost sounds like Banks is like the P. Diddy of the streaming industry. And I know that that's crazy to say, but seems like he's moving pretty shiesty. So I do want to give this warning to content creators going forward. First and foremost, a lot of the stuff that comes with the industry is going to come with them taking money from you. If it's too good to be true, then it's probably too good to be true. So know that and expect that up front. Even if they sell you this dream that ultimately, yo, you don't have to pay back any money, that's not true, gang. Two, you can move mountains by yourself and with a collective of people who are like-minded. Granted, with all these interjections from media companies, you can do big things. I'm not even
exactly. At this point, there's no need to have to go to this person or that person. This isn't the 1990s. This isn't the 2000s. This isn't even the 2010s. This is the 2020s, bro. In the age where you can turn yourself up. All you need is a camera and a way to record and post. Bro. That's all you need. You could turn your whole situation up by just you. You don't really need outside help. Now, yes, getting outside help will turn you up a lot faster. You know, kind of like taking steroids in a way. If you take steroids, yeah, you can get gains faster. But if you just work and, you know, you can turn yourself up to the same level you would have been if somebody else came and turned you up. It's just some people, I guess, just don't want to wait. I guess is what it ultimately comes down to. But with that being said, bro, we're going to wrap up this video, you know? Y'all let me know y'all thoughts on this video. Y'all make sure y'all hit the subscribe button, man. I'm not playing with y'all. You know? And with that being said, I'll catch y'all boys later, man. Peace.